Hi, job seekers. My name's Tyler, and I help people promote themselves to better roles at amazing companies. Today, I'm going to show you how to use LinkedIn's job search combined with Boolean operators to more effectively search for jobs on LinkedIn. So, we're going to start by going on LinkedIn's job search page, and we'll just go through an example for this one. Let's say that I'm open to moving. I currently live in Southern California, but I might be looking for a new role in, we'll just say, greater Los Angeles for this example. And in this case, I'm going to be looking for an operations management position. So I'll just start off with that basic search, and we'll show you some of the issues that show up with just having basic searches in LinkedIn. So if I just type in operations manager, when I hit enter, it's just going to search for everything United States. I'm getting almost 200,000 results. We're obviously not going to search through all of that. So now let's whittle it down just to operations management positions in greater Los Angeles. So even when I do that, I'm still getting over 6,000 results for this. And what's going on is LinkedIn is it has information on the types of jobs that people search and apply for. So it knows that when someone types in operations manager, they might be open to positions that are similar to operations management, but not exactly the same. For example, I'll see like on this third one on the list that it has operations manager here, but it may also have roles like facility manager, which is similar, but it's not quite the same thing. So it's taking some liberties and providing some options for you that might be related. Now, the issue with this with our job search is, it would take forever to look through over 6,000 results. So this information isn't incredibly helpful to us at this point in time. So we have to get a little bit more specific. And a way you can do that is using the filters up top, which is definitely something I'd recommend. But you can also make a more specific list faster using Boolean operators. So if you're not sure what a Boolean operator is, I will open up a little slide here and we'll just kind of go through them one by one. Okay. So if we look at this, one of the first operators we're going to talk about is quotation marks or quotes, right? So essentially what this does is when you put the term in quotes, it's going to return job descriptions that have exactly these words. And it's not perfect, but LinkedIn search definitely gets close. So let's go ahead and do that and we'll see how the results change. So if I just put in quotes around operations manager here and click on search, now it's searching through the job descriptions and it's finding jobs that most relate to operations manager. Ideally, it just has operations manager in the title or it's written, very clearly in there. But as you can see, it still isn't perfect because we're still getting things like proposal manager here, which is not quite the same as operations manager. But it was able to whittle this list down to less than 3,000. But still, this would be an insane list to go through for applying for jobs. So we want to whittle this down even further. So if we're going to use other operators, the next one on our list that we'll look at is and. So when you use and, you're doing it for two terms. So this one will return a list of jobs that have both of these search terms. So for example, we're going to do operations manager again in quotes. So jobs that are specifically operations manager and solar. So for this example, if we have solar experience or whatever experience it is, we want to find roles that are related to that specific experience that we have. So in this case, we're going to use solar for this example. So if I come back here, now I'm going to type in, it needs to be capitalized, and A&D, and then solar. So now it's operations manager specifically and solar. So this is going to return jobs that are operations management roles that specifically have solar somewhere in the job description. Again, it's not perfect, but it's getting it closer and closer to a more manageable list. So if we do Control F, for example, and we look at solar, let's see how many we have here. So you can see, again, it's not perfect because, the solar is not coming up with this particular job, but, with some other ones, we can see that it's renewable energy operations. It's getting closer. So, and in this case, we can see that this one actually does return solar in the job description. So not perfect, but closer. Even with this, 850 is still a pretty long list to go through. So we can use more operators to whittle this down even further. So, and again, we can see that it's with some of these job descriptions, they're not quite exactly what we're looking for. So if we come back to our list, we've looked at quotations, we've looked at and, what are some other things we can do? Well, the next one is parentheses. So for this one, you are able to kind of group 2 or more items together, and it works well in conjunction with the next operator we're going to go over, which is or. So or returns a list of jobs that have either of the terms or that group of terms. So for example, if we have in parentheses operations manager or project manager, let's assume we wanted to look at that role as well, and solar. So this is going to return a list of operations managers or project manager job descriptions, but they have to include the word solar, or at least what LinkedIn determines as a word that's close to solar. So if we go back here, let's put that in. So we're going to do operations manager. We're going to do or project manager. We'll close the parenthesis, and then we have and solar. So this is going to be operations manager or project manager and solar. This might end up adding some results, but that's okay because we'll use an operator to reduce that list further. So that did add some, but that might be what we wanted, where we wanted to look at a couple of roles, right? So you have that option of doing or to look at a couple things at the same time. So there's another operator that we can use to whittle this list down a little bit. And that operator, pull up right now, is not. So this one will definitely pull a lot of items off this list. So not returns a list of jobs that contains the first term and not the second term. So if we were going to continue this example, we want to look at operations managers or project managers and solar. So either of those terms that must include solar, but does not include a word like estimator. So let's say we weren't interested in any like estimator roles or something like that. So we can come back in here and say, we'll end this with and solar, not estimator, right? So now it's going to remove all estimator positions. So we'll go ahead and search on this. And yeah, that removed, a couple hundred off that list. So, and we can keep playing with this. So let's say, all right, well now in this case, I want to get very specific, all right? I don't want to look at project manager roles anymore, right? I just want to look at operations manager in solar that does not contain estimator, right? Go ahead and hit search, and now I have 648. Very manageable list. So if we come down here and look at these, I should be seeing jobs that are very relevant to solar operations manager, that don't contain things like estimator. So if we look at, let's just say this one, cosmic manager, what is this, right? So you can look through these roles and, see if they are in line with what you're looking for. And maybe it's not, right? Maybe there is no like solar mentioned in here, which, happens on LinkedIn. Then you can use this for your not term and say, okay, I don't want to look at roles that are like this, right? And you can add more terms back to your not to whittle this list down even further, and get something that's more specific. So, but we can see just going through this list that we're seeing a lot more jobs that are in line with what we're looking for, those operations management positions that are specific to solar companies. So this is something you continue to play around with. And so you're going to have to find terms that are related to those job searches that you want, but it's a way for you to more effectively use your time where you're not digging through, thousands of items trying to find, or thousands of job descriptions trying to find roles that are more in line with what you're looking for. So taking this list and then combining it with the filters, let's say I only want to look at mid-senior level, director level, maybe associate for this one. We can see that's pulling a lot off of this list. Say we only want full-time, we don't want to do contract positions. And then let's say, okay, now instead of Greater Los Angeles, we just want to look at some very specific locations. So in this case, let's say I want it to be near Long Beach, maybe near Anaheim. Paramount's not too far from Long Beach. Santa Monica as well. Maybe these are cities I would consider. Okay, so now just doing that, I have 28. So now if I click on show results, I'm going to get, a lot more, I'm going to get, a list that's a lot more in line with specifically what I'm looking for. Looking through 28 is way more manageable than, 600 or 1,000. So hopefully that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop a comment, or you can message me on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to help you. Hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.